Ya.
Pues muy buenos días, bienvenidos a Telefónica.
Good morning and welcome to Telefónica. My name is Juan Cambeiro. My name is Mercedes Fernandez, Director of Innovation, and we are going to talk about 5G. And what are we going to tell about 5G? What we have learned about 5G working with the customers in the last 3 years, and we are going to use this metaphor, what they have in common: a surgeon, a shipyard, a drone, and a tunnel.
Importante. ¿Qué tienen en común? Pues para empezar, este cirujano,
So first of all, this surgeon, this operator in the shipyard, in the tunnel, have defined in the definition of 5G. So the definition of the 5G standard is not related to the operators of telecommunication systems, so also the Volkswagen manufacturers of vehicles, of tractors, John Deere, Lockheed Martin, planes, Husqvarna, about different tools, agricultural tools, because they all needed this standard, this new standard. And what did the industry need? Having processes that are more flexible, more efficient, the transformation towards 4.0, and the connectivity is crucial. So they have participated in 5G standards because they need their needs to be satisfied. Also to increase the efficiency and the security, the Internet of Things, why the manufacturers of the Internet of Things, and we connect human beings, we consume content, and we see the robots and the machines and the devices that have different communication needs, and all this is included in the 5G. Also the touch internet, doing operations and remote operation, also health care. The medicine has to reach more groups of people, and then finally the society. So how can we have vehicles and roads that are safer, cities with more services and a better use of resources and immersive education? So all these different groups of people have decided what they need about 5G standards. So what is 5G then? 5G is a technology. It's a different technology with different capabilities thanks to the contribution of a lot of people and high speed, first of all, but it's not only high speed. It's the normal evolution from 2G, 3G, 4G. The bandwidth has been increased in the last year. We can watch movies in streaming now, and it's going to reach 1 gigabit per user in the 5G standard. The uploading of content and the downloading of content. So, for example, cameras sending images to a repository in the network are going to get a lot of benefits from 5G. Also, the low latency. Latency is the answer time, the response time. It's going to reach 1 millisecond in the network. And this allows us to do a real interaction and the interactions between different machines. And we have a great things with all the devices being connected. So we are going to go towards a great quality of services, one end to the other end. So we will be able to guarantee the communications that are going to be critical. And network slicing included in 5G that will allow us to do this highway this bandwidth is going to be divided in different lanes, and each one of the lanes is going to have specific features depending on the traffic it's going to support. So it's not the same, the traffic with a sensor, that the traffic of a video streaming of high quality. And we will be able to adapt to all these different types of traffic with the 5G network. And then the edge computing, something related to 5G, and we have applied it to all the technologies. The edge computing is virtual data centers very close to where the user needs all these capabilities. And with all these capabilities, we are going to have this low latency and great quality end to end. And with 5G, we see that what we have in front of us is an important potential, a great potential for this digital transformation. All our customers are already defining how they are going to change and how are they going to do things differently, how they are going to generate new experiences for their own customers in order to do things differently. So it's not that we are late. We've been talking about 5G for the past years, and we still have time to think about how we are going to transform our businesses, our cities, and our experiences. And it is important to start testing it. And I encourage you to start defining, asking for things. And with the same capabilities and the same as we were connected with fiber. So we can do whatever we want to do. And this is the wide range of 5G. And we in Telefónica, we've been working on this for the past years. Since the beginning, 5G was introduced. And working with our customers, we have a lot of projects, 5G projects, and we have worked in different verticals, and we have the industry also, and we have a lot of projects in the connected cars. And with education, we see that it is fundamental to see all these different experiences for education. And we can democratize the medical tests. We're working with drones. It's important to use drones for a lot of experiences. So we have a lot of projects, and we have worked on these in order to give an added value to these capabilities of 5G. So what have we learned? Well, 70 projects and cases of use. So after working with customers, we have to go to the company and say, so what's important about 5G? Which are the main features? How should we deploy this technology so that it is useful for everybody in Spain? So we have learned this. First of all, that guaranteeing the quality of the service is fundamental. If we had to choose just one feature of 5G, this would be the one we would be choosing. So I am going to give support to the critical services of my company about this communications. So I'm going to give you two examples. There are some machines that need to work with latencies of small latencies. So I need you to guarantee these 2 milliseconds. I need to be sure that this is going to function. Another example, our customers in television. So they are going to broadcast something live this afternoon, 5 to 7. I would like you to guarantee 8 megabytes per camera. And sometimes they say, I know that 5G is going to give me gigabits, but I want you to guarantee this 8 megabits. So we are not talking about just browsing the internet. It's the critical features that the companies need. And these are some of the lessons we've learned working with customers, because the pilot projects are done in their companies. And without the edge computing, 5G would be incomplete. So these servers, these electronic giving you the service, are not in San Francisco or in Ireland, in data centers that are far away, because 5G is very fast. But if the electronic that is giving you the service is in the other corner of the planet, then it makes no sense. It's going to take time. So edge computing means that we have this computing capacity close to where we are located. So low latency that need to be immediate, things that you have in your intranet, in your factories, software, you need it to be controlled immediately, robotic control, a car that wants to communicate, that needs to slow down. So we need it to be very proximal, very close to them, and they need the edge computing, all the power of the cloud and low latency and close to you. The third lesson, more cases of use can be applied, and thanks to our customers. So the low latency, we are not only talking about the remote surgery, collaborations between robots, and low latency is fundamental. But once the customer starts thinking, well, my companies, I can extract the cables in a wireless way. There are some industrial processes in which the tolerability margin in order to manufacture properly a part means that you need to make a decision in less than 1 millisecond. You need to have cameras and sensors double checking what's going on. This is going wrong and need to correct it. And there are a lot of processes involved. We need more telecontrol, more remote control. It's not only the drones, it's the robotic control, and also it's more efficient with some cranes controlled by the person in a remote way, and I needed to control other things. And then in the beginning, when we said 1 millisecond, why? Well, because there are a lot of cases. So there are many more different cases. It's not only that we are working in places where we were not supposed to work, like, for example, in a shipyard with Navantia in Ferrol shipyard. For example, we have other unexpected uses. The cars, for example, communicating to the other cars. Now we have some verticals, as you will see in some of the demos, that we can use communications in order to improve the efficiency in the industrial traffic. In order to have a better efficiency, in order to make sure how these cranes coordinate with the lorries, with the lorry drivers, so that we don't have an accident. And for example, agrotechnology. And for example, with a lot of tractors and a lot of cameras analyzing big data in order to which are the nutrients I need to give to my lands, to my soils. And so video is not only a need from the televisions, no, also in important events of great companies, and also the surgery We have a local explorer where we can expand, thanks to the 5G, the preventive medicine field. And then the specialized medicine can be taken to the rural Spain or to people who have some problems of mobility. And also augmented reality, only for entertainment. But no, it has a lot of efficiency in rehabilitation or in multiple sclerosis in order to fight solitude and Alzheimer's disease. These are all different tests. And this has always been like this. And 5G is built with all of us, with technology providers. And we need to be listening to the different manufacturers in collaboration with the customers, because 5G is a technology designed for critical uses of the industry and the society. And then we leave you with the voice of the customer. We're going to show you how our customers have conveyed to us what we expect from 5G. And here you can see a compilation of the voice of our customers. Now we're going to watch this video. My job is to make railway inspections. We have to move a lot, and we have to move when trains are not running. And sometimes we don't have access to these places because they are not accessible to people. 5G drones. So an idea, in order to apply the technology that they have, so that it is really useful in medicine. So I thought about having the possibility of helping someone. For example, I'm doing a surgery and I have doubt, and then I can ask, I can call a friend who is an expert. Please use your smartphone or your computer. Look at my surgery in real time, and please help me because I have some doubt, right? So this would be really amazing. We were like 3 surgeons there, and it was in real time, and the surgery has all the parameters about how we are using the scalpel and all the different parameters of the surgery. And this is going to redefine the way we surgeons collaborate and how we learn from each other. And this is really amazing, using this technology, applying it to this field, giving it a real use, and giving it an important transformation. Navantia is a public company that manufactures vessels with more than 300 years of history, and fostering and boosting technology. We are doing a digital transformation in the strategic plan of the company. Our goal is to define and to do the Navantia of the future, Navantia 4.0. We are doing different projects using 5G technology and edge computing together with Telefónica as our partner in digitalization. We really trust them because they have an important experience. 5G is giving us connectivity that will allow us to optimize our production processes and our digital platform. Connectivity in the Industry 4.0 is the first step. The main goal is to have all the information in order to use it and go to the IoT, having the machines that need to be connected in relation with the project. We need to connect people, and also in this virtual world with this real world, with these computation needs that we have. And it is important to have a real-time processing because the decision-making process is more efficient. And this is why we have the concept MEC. It's an edge computing with the power of the cloud. Well, you heard our customers, and out of the collaboration with them, now we want to talk about what we are presenting here in the Mobile World Congress. Some of the projects can be in this booth. So I'm going to talk about this project in Barcelona with APM terminals of connected cars, and that uses all these connected by 5G in order to do it in the Barcelona port. The APP terminals, the APM terminals moves containers in Barcelona port, in the port of Barcelona, and then we have connected these straddle carriers, these cranes that you can see in front of you on the screen. The driver is in the booth at the top, and he does not have a full vision, and these cranes load and upload and download the containers, and it has to be located in a very safe position, this crane, and it's a very risky operation. So we are helping APM terminals to improve the security of the traffic in the port area. So we are connecting the cranes with the people, and with everybody working in the port, so that there are some, they know at real time what's going on. And also if there are lampposts or whatever, so that the cranes do not crash into other elements because they are really expensive, and also with the people. And this means that we generate different warnings through the apps and some sirens that we need to do visual and acoustic services as well. So we are working, and you have it here in our stand, in our booth, with Bilbao Port. And we see how we can improve the traffic, the entry traffic in the port, making the identification process faster and the classification process faster. So when these lorries get there with a lot of information, and with these cameras that have already installed, these cameras have a lot more functionality thanks to the edge computing. And they collect the information, and instead of we have this on-time, real-time information using these deep learning algorithms in order to read any labels. It doesn't matter if it's foggy, if it's snowing, if it's muddy. We are able to read all the numbers in the number plate. And these algorithms create a smarter capability to read all the information in the lorry. And we are opening the barriers very fast. We are preventing the lines in the entry points, and we are contributing to the decarbonization in the entry of the port. We are improving then the sustainability in the port. Another important project is what we are doing in Riazor Stadium in A Coruña. We are making a proposal about how we can democratize the broadcast of the sports event. We are talking about football here, but we can talk about any other sports. So we have installed with 5G these cameras, 8 cameras in the stadium, and this means that it is easier to put it anywhere. You don't have to decide the location because you know you're going to reach there. And then They send the images to the edge, and then we have artificial intelligence that is going to process these images in real time and decide where the ball is going and when there is something interesting going on in the field. And then, without the intervention of a human being, there is a smart selection, so to say, and we see the image of the camera that better represents what's going on in the field. Because obviously there are a lot of teams that can afford these, and very professional team. There are some teams that cannot afford these, and maybe we could put these in all sport facilities and leisure facilities so that an important number of people could enjoy these features, these specific features. And here we have another project, very successful, the simultaneous interpreting. You will not need to learn languages, and it's a great effort. So a lot of people are loving it. The simultaneous translation up to 80 languages in an app. So thanks to this low latency of 5G, the conversation is completely fluid. It flows. It is a trained app, and we have it here in Barcelona. Not in the fair, but we can show it, and we have it in our smartphones. But we made a collaboration with the bus with the shuttle bus that brings you from Plaza España to here, and people can use this app in order to communicate with others. So you can go test it if you want. So I also wanted to talk about tourism, because I like very much the projects that give experiences to the tourists that we need in Spain. So we have this in our digital twin, in all the information that we have in our microsite, and open to all of you. And we could enjoy our fiestas and our events any time and anywhere. And we have this, the Semana Santa in Malaga 2019, the last time it took place. And here you can see the possibility. With this possibility, you can reach Malaga and use our smartphone and having the experience of what Semana Santa, Easter, is in Malaga. We can see everything, what happens surrounding us, and these are things that help people enjoy these new ways of seeing things. And Juan, in order to finish, well, going back to what you said, with a drone, a shipyard, and a surgeon, what do they have in common? They said what they needed about technology, and they have a need. And the services of their customers work, and the processes they depend on in wireless communication. So all these people have something in common: reliable communications that will not fail. And well, I don't know if we have time for questions. So which are the new professions that are going to arise? Well, it's difficult. But for example, in software, we see that there is the specific software for edge computing in low latency with the remote pilot, the pilot of drones, also the one that controls remotely the cranes and all other vehicles, and they all have their own specificities. And also Internet of Things of low latency, collaborative robotics, connected cars as well, and also in devices. We think that we are going to have a lot of startups in the new applicability of 5G services. So we see that there is a lot of creativity, a lot of new companies, and this is where most of the jobs are going to be generated. Also, the generation of content, of augmented reality, and so on, we see that what we need in all studies and on all case studies. So we have another question. Do you think network slicing is going to finish with networks? Well, slicing is one of the tools, fundamental tools, for these requirements that guarantees the capability. So the slicing means that we can offer general coverage, but in the stadium, we reserve a capability for the cameras. And in a hospital, we reserve a capability of this coverage for the surgeon and the critical medical operations. And in the main road of the city with the connected communication. So we do more efficient use depending on the scenario, guaranteeing the resources you need for your critical services. So instead of making the networks disappear, it's going to give us a more versatile use of the networks adapted to the needs of the locations and of the users. And this last question, when you think it's going to be available at 100%? 5G is going to be available at 100%. Well, mobile networks have a permanent evolution, and every year we do modifications in our networks in 5G, 4G, 2G, because the standard evolves permanently and gives us new things every year. And it's going to keep on evolving. And we are going to see the great capabilities, and we are going to have them available, and we will not be able to do network slicing in the near future, but not totally end-to-end. And with all the different aspects of operability, so maybe 2-3 years. So it's not that we can give it to a specific client for a specific use case. It can be applied, but we are going to have a lot of capabilities, but not in 100% of the places, because it's going to take some years to deploy. We need important investments in order to deploy this new network. Well, we need to put all the radio, all the core, and translate all the services into this new network. It's going to cost a lot of money, and it's going to take time. And we also need to have 100% maturity of the system. Telefónica is covering 80% of the population with 5G first generation, but in order to have all the 5G capabilities, we need all the spectrum available. 5G, we have 5G megahertz, and it's going to There are going to be some calls for proposals this year, and also the short waves, but there is still not a call for proposals for all these, so not all the capabilities are available, and also it depends on the manufacturers of devices. We need to have these industrial routers capable of resisting acids, and we need robot tools, and all this is a maturity path. And although the first generation is well deployed, as Mercedes says, in 3 years' time it's going to finish up being completely mature, and that's what we expect. And when I just wanted to say that in Telefónica, we have the capabilities, the 5G network. We have all this knowledge about how to accompany our customers in their digital transformation, giving them services that make the most of these capabilities of 5G, but they are beyond them, that can be integrated in their ecosystems, in the industry, tourism, whatever, any trade, any field. That was all. Thank you very much for being here.